welcome back to Anime Death Spiral. This is, for attentive listeners from last week, part 2 of a special 2-part series episode where we are...
You might have missed that.
Yeah.
If you weren't listening closely, it's possible that you could have slipped up and missed the part about doing the rest of a list of anime.
Yep. But we are here to make sure you don't miss that list because we have our top 5 anime that do not take place in Japan now. Last week, we went through the 10 through 6 slot, which, counting up from the bottom, we had Hellsing, Ergo Proxy, Banana Fish, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind Arc, and Gankotsuo, the Count of Monte Cristo.
Solid.
At number 6.
Solid anime. Unfortunately, the worst 5 on this list.
I don't even know how that happened, but sorry, our rulings are objective and final.
This is how we determine things. These are objectively the worst out of all the shows we're going to talk about. And it's inarguable, obviously. This list will insist upon itself. I don't need to defend the quality of these anime.
No, that has been well established. The fact that they're on this list means that they've already been, determined to be of the good shit.
Of quality.
And so we're just trying to shine a spotlight on what we think are the best international settings.
And again, specifically not, because this is important, right?
Mm-hmm. No.
Not fantasy places. Not alien planets, not, isekai other worlds.
Well, there's a couple asterisks in there, but we'll get to that.
Okay. Well, that's the intention anyway.
Yeah. All right. So last week we left it off with Gankotsuo, which, of course, takes place in a neo-futuristic, but not really version of France. And so our number 5 is actually going to keep it on the same track. I had Revolutionary Girl Utena, which, of course, being heavily inspired itself by stories like Rose of Versailles, takes place within a kind of weird... I was about to say cyberpunk, but it's not cyberpunk. It's almost diesel punk.
It is a dream. It is a dream version.
Yeah, it is
France.
A dream version of France.
It is a bizarre dream.
But that being said, even though it doesn't take place in any one specific location in France, the spirit of the nation is just kind of dripping off of every design choice in this. It takes place in a school where apparently all they teach is how to sword fight. It's a sword fighting school, maybe.
Yeah, that's dope.
But only
dope as hell.
But only for foppish kids. They make a big
sword fighters.
They make many allusions to the fact that all of the students there are like kind of fail upward, like useless kids of politicians and business owners. And the titular Utena is kind of an outlier because nobody really knows her background or her past. She's a mystery, and she comes in and just starts kicking ass. But it's
great to be the transfer student.
Oh, yeah. It gives you extra stats.
Yeah. Even outside of Japan, it's like, oh, the transfer student? Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's got the allure of the foreign to the whole. It's baked into the mystery of them, right?
Yes, it's double layered up here because obviously, dreamlike France is foreign.
Yeah, when I say dreamlike, it's got both this. Just the narrative itself kind of has this floaty, almost unfocused quality to it. But on top of that is the architecture of the world. The story takes place inside of this giant school. And when I say giant, I mean the school is designed to be incomprehensibly large in scope. For all we, the audience, know, the school covers the entire world, and it's just these sprawling kind of like almost Escher-esque, like Rococo inspired, like crumbling French nobility like mansions that have all fused into a Gormenghast kind of situation, you know?
Yeah, what if Louis XIV had continued French colonialism until he had conquered the entire earth and then just let it go to ruin?
What if what if the Winchester Mystery House was designed by Wes Anderson?
A more French Wes Anderson.
Yeah. I think that is why I personally like it so much. You know, it's got this indescribable air of like ephemeral dreaminess to it that makes it so interesting to look at and ponder, but also like the influence that it's had just on the culture in general cannot be understated, to the point where there is a whole subgenre of American cartoons that take direct inspiration from Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's completely revolutionary in the genre of magical girl, but you can see that it is a very big like canon event, like a branching point in the design of the magical girl story, like a stopping point where we got a bunch of interesting, weird ideas coming out of it, next to the traditional Maho Shoujo, right?
Yeah. That's my number. That's what I had put at number 5.
Number 5, the 5th worst anime taking place outside of Japan. Okay.
Number 4 is another one that I think ultimately I kind of settled on placing here.
Because you wanted it higher.
I did want it higher. It is more significant to both me personally and I think to just shonen in general, which, as much as I love Revolutionary Girl Utena, I think that shonen is just a wider net overall. And so with that, I have on our number 4 for the list is Full Metal Alchemist, specifically the manga, but more specifically the anime, if we're talking about that.
Yeah, we're talking about anime.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, then.
Yes. We don't have to split hairs. Everybody knows. The story is widely known. Mm-hmm. Either one, though. This is applicable.
Yeah, well, this is one of those asterisks on the list that I was talking about, because you said no fantasy like settings, and like I'm not sure where to classify this, because Full Metal Alchemist takes place within what is very clearly a fantastical version of, Western Europe. And all of the kind of one-to-one comparisons are there. But it is not directly based off of our own world. It's its own, their own continents, geography, socio-political structures mirror stuff like Western Europe, but they are very specifically not the same thing.
Sure. This is the legally distinct, not Vienna.
Yeah. Not Vienna, not Germany.
Not Austria, not Germany.
And then they go to not North Africa.
They kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's this one, yes, I think this rides the line, obviously, but I think like the other ones, this is too referential, like it's way on the nose what is happening here, that I think it's fine to say this is very obviously taking place in Germany, especially with the massive amount of Nazi references. And of course, the very infamous alternate reality Germany that does intrude.
Well, okay, that's splitting hairs, because that is from the original series, where they get isekai'd into real world Nazi Germany, and that has since become non-canon.
Well, it happened.
It did. I cannot deny that it happened. It was an all-time low point for the series.
Yes, people did not like that.
Yeah.
I understand why. Again, people don't really like to have the thing just spelled out for them. They would rather not have that. You know, the illusions are enough for most people. They don't really want to have it rubbed in their face that this is Nazi Germany and they're Nazis. They don't really like to just have that fully addressed, you know?
Yeah. You know, I just...
Because then you have to be like, oh, no, our main characters are Nazis. Ah, that sucks.
I mean, again, that does become kind of a big focal point for many character arcs through the course of the show is, you know, the struggle between, like, do you work within an evil, corrupt system that is expansionist and genocidal to essentially for the chance to further your scientific research? Or do you not do that?
You don't do that to be good person, you know?
You know, basically most of the moral quandaries in the show boil down to that question, except in the case of Roy Mustang, the fire alchemist, because his entire arc, and I kind of actually hate this. It's my least favorite thing about how the story ends, is that he essentially, after an internal civil war where they depose the essentially magic Hitler who rules the country.
Yes.
Roy
Super
Mustang is like, no, his arc is, I'm not going to dismantle the system. I'm just going to become the next leader, and I'm going to do it better this time.
Yeah, the conclusion, instead of going isekai Nazi Germany, their conclusion ends up being, what if Hitler was a good guy? Which is great. Okay, fine, whatever, Full Metal Alchemist. You know, people love you. You're a beloved show, so who cares? Do whatever you want. But it does end up the entire show being that fucking Mitchell and Webb meme about the "Are we the baddies?" That is just the entire show.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just that.
It's just that.
Yeah, and it kind of turns out that, like, our main character's conflict, like, is incredibly petty in the grand scheme of things and doesn't matter, which I've always found to be a little weird. You know, Al and Ed being like, oh, yeah, they're having their own little adventure over here while Nazi Germany is just rolling along.
Well, yeah, the expansionist, militaristic, fascist government is really just a backdrop for their, like, you know, big adventure to go get their bodies restored.
And they pop in every once in a while to, like, kill an important person.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sets a weird tone where they specifically come off as, like, not apolitical, because they always say, like, yeah, we think that what they're doing is bad, but also it's not my problem to like actively solve these issues. I've got my own stuff that I need to worry about.
Yeah, we're doing something else.
Like, yeah, it's bad, but like,
we're over here trying to, like, touch the very core of alchemy and, like, interface with the alchemy god, which, you know, doesn't have anything to do with, like, Nazi occultism, right? It's just a completely other thing. It's a completely different thing.
Those things have no thematic or narrative overlap whatsoever. I can confidently say that.
Yeah, nothing. Okay, anime Germany, which there are many, by the way. That happens to be one of the things that kind of overwhelmed this list, but I was
This is just the best one.
This is just the good one, I guess. Okay, next is very closely related. Number 3 is Pluto.
Ah, yes.
Pluto is Naoki Urasawa's take. Everybody kind of gets a run at Astro Boy, you know? Like most Tezuka properties at this point, like, everybody just wants to swing at it.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like, imagine if there was a generation of modern American animators that were just, like, gunning to get their chance at redoing Mickey Mouse. Is that a thing?
That is a thing. That's a thing now. In fact, okay. I just was reading about that horror Popeye bizarre project. The sequel is coming out soon. They're going to have done 2 of these. There's also a Betty Boop one, by the way, which I cannot truck with this.
Yeah.
Philosophically, I cannot get on board. But Pluto, like the Dororo anime before it that ended up on Amazon, I've talked about it a long time ago, but I thought it was really good. Kind of a more modernist take. Ended up being a little bit kind of Blade of the Immortal-y version of Dororo, which I don't mind. I think it was cool. This one also takes Astro Boy in a more mature and politically conscious direction. It is set in a lot of different kind of places around the world, but mostly in Switzerland, where kind of the Europol investigation is taking place into rogue AI and a robot murderer who is taking care of the most famous human-like robots in the Astro Boy world. We are sort of a post, speaking of Nazis, we are sort of a post-World War where human-like AI creations were used to kill lots of people, lots and lots of people. And now we are dealing with the fallout. Astro Boy in particular is having a pretty hard time because he was, from the grand canon of Astro Boy, we know that he was constructed to be a good human boy. He's Pinocchio, right?
Oh, sure. He's the best boy.
He is the best boy, and he has to participate in this investigation as one of the most advanced human-like robot creations, and one of the closest to the creation, the original creator of like the most advanced AI robots, right?
Sure.
There's what's his name? Dr. Yamato, right? Who created Astro Boy? I think that Yamato created Astro Boy, right? Am I getting this backwards?
No, I think you're right. I think Yamato created Astro Boy.
Yes, and he worked together with another doctor who in the extended universe becomes evil.
Right, Dr. Wily.
He basically becomes Dr. Wily. And in this version, we are trying to kind of unlock how he created an unrestrained AI that can not only kill humans, but kill other robots. Because in this version of Astro Boy, we basically have kind of the three basic laws of robotics.
Sure.
Robots are intellectually incapable of killing humans, except for one big exception, which is cool. There is a Hannibal Lecter robot in this show. It's fucking awesome.
I mean, it is cool. It is, rogue AI robot serial killer is kind of like just a staple trope in, cyberpunk thriller fiction at this point. Because you will recall that is also the plot of Ghost in the Shell 1 and 2.
Yes. Though this one is more focused on annihilating other robotic entities. It is the most high-profile robotic entities that participated in this incredibly famous war that is now over.
Some kind of robot killing robot.
Yeah, it's seemingly in an attempt to erase robotic history. It's a very mature and interesting, well done mystery show. On top of being very explicit about its own politics and having a really high level conversation about your typical philosophical robot and AI conversations. And on top of that, this is just one of the best looking anime. Again, I mean, they went all out on this one and it looks incredible. And I feel like they put it out on Netflix and just nobody ended up like talking about it very much. But this is a heavy fucking hitter.
All right.
On all accounts.
Pluto, number 3.
Pluto.
All right. We only got 2 left on this list. These numerically are the best.
Yes. And also the second worst.
This next one is in fact the second worst. An ugly mark that it's never going to escape. All right. This is another one, unfortunately, that I have not had a chance to indulge in, but Maybe by the time we record next week's episode, I will have. Who knows?
I hope so.
But why don't you take this one away? Number 2 worst anime.
Number 2 on this list.
And
we're doing a double dip of Naoki Urasawa because number 2 is Monster. Monster takes place in Prague, and it follows a genius surgeon who has the ultimate moral dilemma. A very famous politician comes into the hospital last second, and they demand that the most famous and skilled surgeon must save his life. But that surgeon has a dying child on the table. He must make the call, and because he is extraordinarily good, he is a good person, he saves the child. Many years later, he discovers that child went on to murder a bunch of people. I don't mean to spoiler things because this is just the most basic possible setup. And he has to wrestle with the most fundamental moral problem in existence, right?
I mean, it sounds like a very complicated trolley situation.
What if doing the right thing turned out to be the wrong thing? Is it still the right thing, even if it had the worst consequences possible? Right? It's a great premise to begin a tremendous psychological thriller manga. Maybe the best one. This is Naoki Urasawa just unloading fucking both barrels. I personally think this is his best work. A lot of people think 20th Century Boys is a masterpiece, and I think it is as well, but I don't think 20th Century Boys ever hits the high that Monster consistently maintains every chapter. This is one of those things where you cannot reach the end of a chapter without immediately reaching for the next one, just compulsively. This is so compelling and propulsive. You might just sit down and read every single chapter at once. The anime, I think, even though is completed and is fine, I think it does a really good job. It is not as tremendous as I think this story deserves. I think this deserved the most amount of money and the greatest animation minds of its era, but it got more of a standard anime adaptation. But because the story is so incredibly strong, I don't think it would make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't matter because those people were working on Sono Biscuitdoll anyway.
In 2002?
Oh, is that when the anime came out?
Yeah, or maybe a couple years later. But oh, they were doing pre-production. Yeah. No, this one's been around for a while and goes on and off Netflix pretty often too, which is interesting. Its portrayal of Europe is very deep and interesting. It's very well studied, and it does not cut corners like a lot of these things do, where it kind of just goes, "Hey, what are the stereotypes? Oh yeah, let's just throw those in there. In France, people eat baguettes. Got it.
Mm-hmm,
yes,
mm-hmm. They wear those little hats and they have the mustaches and the stripy shirts."
I think this does a much better and more intricate job than it even needed to. This could get away with being more simple than that, but it is just a juggernaut. It is the classic.
Oh man, is that?
And yet it is the second worst anime on this list.
So that must bring us to the least worst anime.
This is the least worst anime not set in Japan.
Not set in Japan. And wouldn't you know it, we got a hometown hero, America, coming in at number 1.
Yeah.
We got Cyberpunk Edgerunners, number 1 best anime that does not take place in Japan because it takes place in what is conservatively no different than modern day LA.
It's the sprawl, from Gibson's great works. It is the Sprawl, the cyberpunk version of the Sprawl, because again, those books just took everything out of Gibson and reappropriated it. We've got the two American biggies on the list, New York and LA. What's up, baby? The only places in America that matter.
Sorry, Chicago.
Yeah, sorry, Chi-Town.
Oh, well, you got gunsmith cats? Puh, get out of here.
Hey, you got Bacano? That actually takes points away. This maybe is... I kind of fought it originally because maybe this is too obvious. I mean, this is a show that everyone lost their fucking minds over. And I don't think they're wrong. I mean, this is a tremendous work. One of the most consequential Trigger series since Kill la Kill, probably.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think so.
I definitely think so. And as far as a follow-up, did they do anything between Kill la Kill and this?
Yeah, a bunch of stuff.
A bunch of stuff.
Little Witch Academy being the most prominent in my mind, I think. Little Witch Academy rules, by the way.
It's awesome. It's really good.
Yeah. Set in a fantasy world, though, so it doesn't count.
Doesn't count for this list. I don't know. Edgerunners, I think, like, just hit it out of the park on so many different fronts. It is not only a good anime set outside of Japan, which qualifies it for this list, but it's also a video game adaptation anime, which
kind of wild.
And
it's wild. Better than the game.
Yeah, I was about to say, kind of wild that it's better than the game that it's based off of. It features no Keanu Reeves in it, so that gives it way head start above everything else here.
So merciful. Hey, and this is also one of the only ones on this list where the main character is not white.
Yeah. Yep, that is true. Latino main character. Colorful cast of misfits and scoundrels throughout the entire thing. I think that
cyber freaks.
Yeah, just fucking cyber freaks.
Cyber freaks everywhere.
I don't know. It's hard to quantify exactly what makes it like so good, because we can just say like, yeah, it's got that Trigger style. It's them putting out some of the best animation that they've ever put out. It is comparable to, like you said, Kill la Kill. Same art director, same animation director on both projects. It's like a genuinely cool visualization of the cyberpunk like tabletop game setting that the whole thing is based off of to begin with. I think what I like most about it is that it's just got so many colors, man.
It's so colorful.
And Trigger, the only people, they're one of a very small group of animation studios that understand that when you draw stuff, you can just put whatever you want on there.
You can
make it colorful.
You could draw anything. You're drawing a thing. You could just move the pencil in a different way. You could just draw it different. Draw whatever you want, dude.
Well, Trigger is interesting because they are, fairly focused on doing their own projects. They are not beholden to trying to recreate a manga style, right? So they are allowed to have their own house style with all of these bombastic flourishes of animation because, again, they're not trying to adapt manga pages and make it faithful to what was on the page. They are, from the ground up, trying to make stuff that looks cool animated, which, like, so few other studios can claim that as, like, their main thing. That's what I love about Edgerunners, and that's what I love about all of the Trigger stuff.
What I love about Edgerunners is also what I feel like is one of the most complicating aspects of Edgerunners, because, Cyberpunk already is being filtered through this tabletop version of Gibson's works, right? And Gibson is a very specific person with a very specific point of view. And he has a lot of different stories that critique North America in general in different and particular ways. And only this version of it got kind of latched on and turned into this like sprawling game system. And then reinterpreted right through the lens of a like Polish developing company. Giving it and that being more filtered then through an anime aesthetic. And I feel what it gives it a really weird feel. It almost feels like a critique of America via like Rockstar games, right? Like GTA style, just like this incredible, insanely out there pastiche where every element is like completely overblown.
Yeah, it is a parody of Americana.
Yeah, it's a parody of Americana.
Yeah.
We are layers and layers deep, right? And filtered through multiple different cultures. And what I like about being 4 layers outside of Gibson is that it is parodying itself essentially and wrapping back around to something that feels truly unique and fun.
It is post-Americanism.
Yeah, it is post-America, and it is really entertaining and weird. And I think what they landed on is like truly great. Whereas the version that exists in Blade Runner, right, which has been grafted onto all the Gibson stuff as well.
Yes.
Even though that's Philip K. Dick, who had a very, very different relationship to all of these concepts. But Blade Runner just unfortunately just gets blended into all this stuff.
Well, it's interesting because Philip K. Dick's version of the quote-unquote cyberpunk future was very, like, office core bland, you know?
That's what I was going to say.
What we associate is, like, the Ridley Scott version.
Yes. And Ridley Scott, the way he took it was this sort of demure, depressing, oppressive environment where everyone is basically half dead except for the revolutionaries who are the villains from A Clockwork Orange, basically. And that's why they stand out so much in the universe. But even they themselves are tortured because the only thing they want is to escape from the awfulness that is that world. Whereas Cyberpunk goes further and further away from that by introducing both absurdity and joy into that equation, which I think is what makes it feel incredibly vibrant.
Well, I think what cyberpunk as a genre, and specifically what the gamified version of cyberpunk as a setting, what we're leaving out here is that also incorporates a lot of influence from Brave New World, you know, with this idea that consumerism and like hyper reality can be used as a like numbing control device on a population, which is another big kind of setting. That's where all of the, you know, GTA-esque like guns everywhere, everyone's doing drugs, everyone's drinking and partying and shooting at each other all the time comes from.
Yeah, exactly. It is itself a numbing agent in this version of America, which is something that exists in Gibson more than Philip K. Dick, even though we know which one of them was the drug addict. I think Cyberpunk Edgerunners is unique in the world of anime, and it is unique in the world of anime set in America. I think it is, even though I made my arguments for these other places, I do think it is probably the best representation of non-Japan, maybe, that currently exists.
But wait a minute, I live in America. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, gotta get those fake arms.
Yep.
The big hands. You got to get those big hands.
The only thing holding me on to this society is the promise that one day I'm going to have robot arms. That's the only thing that's still out there for me.
God, that really is like, we talk a lot about the various aspects of transhumanism, what we can do, what we can accomplish, the philosophy of that, the transmetropolitan version of that, right? Mm-hmm. All these high-minded concepts, but ultimately transhumanism, right? And its fundamental, most libidinal version is, fuck, I want robot arms. I
want Vash's gun arm from Trigun. Yeah. I want my arm to fold down into an Uzi, and I want my other hand to split open and do that fast typey thing from Ghost in the Shell. That's all I want.
Hell yeah. Well, one of the other things that Cyberpunk Edgerunners gets right is it includes Molly Millions.
Yes.
Lucy is just Molly Millions. She's a razor girl, and that's the coolest shit that has ever existed.
Oh, man. I want to rewatch Edgerunners now. That shit kicks so much ass.
It bums me out. It bums me out so much. It really, really hurts getting to that end.
I know.
And when
so
I play
brutal.
the game and I drive around in the car listening to I wanna stay at your house, it's just like
you tear up a little bit.
Oh fuck, man. Fuck. Shit. I literally, when I'm just randomly listening to the radio in that game, and that song comes over, in the game, I pull the car over. Oh, man. I don't do that in other games.
Well, I think that also, is a, point towards the writing quality of Edgerunners, because it makes you feel real human, like empathy for these characters in such a
who are bad people, by the way,
who are bad people,
like, disgusting people. At the end of the day, but we love them.
If you can make your audience feel something, you did something right. I think at the end of the day, that's all it is.
If you say so, man.
Oh man, was that our number one? That was the least worst?
That was the number one. That was the least worst anime set somewhere outside of Japan, and also had characters that weren't white, which is great.
So we
really
did it.
Great.
We
did it.
We beat the list.
Hell yeah.
This was the thing that we win, right? We won. I'm claiming this as a victory.
I mean, put this list up against any other list, and it kicks the shit out of any other list. Like their list, nah. Our list, yeah.
Oh man. Okay. All right. I think that about does it for this week. You now have our top 10 least worst international based anime. Go watch all this stuff. It is homework. I am commanding you to do it with the power of my enchanting voice. And then you will be a better, more cultured person for it. And you won't need to travel to any of these countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, yeah.
Beautiful, handsome, tall listeners. Thank you once again for sticking with us. And we will be back again next week with more anime Death Spiral.
No, it'll be weird tales from Japan.
Well, that's part of it. That's part of the Death Spiral. I do plan on making a fool of myself, so don't worry about that.
You are part of the Death Spiral. You are the white person invading the country.
Yep. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I need to go feel bad about my vacation.
Yeah, you should. Make sure to feel bad about it.
All right.
Bye.
Get a load of this guy.